up next from the class of 1958. Jim Frank excelled as a multi-talented athlete at Southeast. He was a 3-year letter winner for the night swim team and a 2-year state champion on the diving team, where he compiled 32 straight diving victories during the 1957 and 1958 swim seasons. In baseball, he won 3 varsity letters and played infield on the 1958 state championship team. He set the standard high for athletes to follow, being the first Lincoln Southeast athlete to win state championships in an individual and a team sport. In 1957 and 1958, he earned All-America honors for diving under the National Interscholastic Swimming Coaches Association of America, and he received an athletic scholarship to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln to swim and to dive. Here are some video comments about Jim Frank.
My name is Kristen Hine, and I will be speaking for my father, James Anthony Frank. Jim Frank graduated from Lincoln Southeast in 1958. When he did so, he left behind an exceptional record. He had earned 6 letters, 3 in swimming and diving, and 3 in baseball. He had been a member of the 1958 state championship baseball team, a team that had won for Southeast the first state title in any sport. He also set some dramatic records in swimming and diving. In the summer of 1956, he won the Midwest AAU diving title. In the 57 to 58 school terms, he won every competition but one, placing 2nd. Again, captured the state title and was again named an All-American. Jim was the first Lincoln Southeast athlete in any sport to win an All-American status, and he did it twice. Jim's success stemmed from 2 key elements: natural talent and superb coaching. Coach Rada said that Jim Frank had the best kinetic sense he had seen up to that point in his coaching career. By that, he meant that Jim always knew where he was in the air relative to the diving board and the water. Rada molded Jim's natural abilities and strengthened Jim's competitive spirit. Still, Jim did not have to slave away hour after hour to perfect a dive. He was simply a natural. Goldman tells the story that sometimes he and Jim would kill some time before swim practice by going to the gym and wrestling. Long story short, Jim ended up with a knee injury and bursitis, but he kept diving. It must have been quite a sight. There was Jim on crutches, approaching the board. He would hand the crutches to another team member, climb onto the board, and compete. Of course, that bursitis took its toll. In a dual meet at Creighton Prep, his 33 consecutive diving victories for Southeast came to an end and he placed 2nd. Tom Davies related another story about Jim that is telling. Tom wrote, quote, "We went down to Lincoln High for a meet, and the LHS coach opened the meet by introducing Jim and waxing enthusiastically for way too long about how great Jim was, an All-American and such. Then he said something like, 'Well, Jim, let's see one of your All-American dives.' I remembered sitting next to Bill Goldman, and we were just rolling our eyes. Jim got up on the board, bounced very high, and came down in a cannonball. The LHS coach was furious, and Coach Rada did sort of reprimand Jim, but you could see the twinkle in his eyes. And then Jim and the rest of the team went ahead to beat Lincoln High.
Good for him.
My dad definitely helped me get my competitive spirit. I also remember sitting on the family room couch with my dad watching Greg Gaines on TV. My dad had taught me how to watch the dives and score them based on form and difficulty. Although I never took to diving like my dad, I'm glad to have had the experience as a child. To this day, I still meet people who knew my dad during his diving years, and they always have great stories to tell and remember him fondly. I'm also grateful to Bob Reynolds, Bill Goldman, Tom Davies, and the Ravens for adding several details I did not know about. Thank you.